One of the most important moves on this Carolina defense was hiding something serious during the negotiations, and now the truth about this roster rebuild is finally coming out. Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd are officially leading the charge for a new era in Charlotte, but what Dan Morgan just pulled off is making the entire league do a double take. If you believe the Panthers are finally building a winner and want to see Bryce Young succeed, hit that subscribe button right now for daily Carolina updates. Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd are the centerpieces of a transformation that has Las Vegas bookmakers scrambling to adjust the lines right now. Listen, the Carolina Panthers came into this offseason looking like they were stuck in the mud, with win totals sitting at a dismal 6.6, according to the sharpest minds at DraftKings. But then Dan Morgan went to work. By bringing in a pass-rushing phenom like Jalen Phillips and a tackling machine in Devin Lloyd, the betting market has shifted more for Carolina than any other team in the entire NFL. We are talking about a jump to 7.3 wins, and while that might sound small to casual fans in the gambling world, that Telu 7 move is an absolute earthquake. It's the biggest improvement in the league. Now think about this. The analysts are saying that even though the Jalen Phillips deal was expensive with massive guarantees, it fundamentally changes the floor of this defense. We lost some depth pieces like Ashawn Robinson and Cade Mays, but the upgrade at the star positions is undeniable. The Panthers are now viewed as a better bet than the Falcons, which is wild considering the hype in Atlanta. The odds makers are seeing a level of development and chemistry building in Charlotte that most people are overlooking. This is how dynasties are built in the NFL, by making the smart, aggressive moves that the public doesn't fully appreciate until the wins start piling up on Sundays. The defense is undergoing a significant upgrade that puts us in a spot to actually compete for the South, even if the media still wants to put the Saints and Bucks ahead of us for now. But what the Panthers are planning to do next in the secondary is where things get really interesting. If you are hyped to see this revamped defense flying around Bank of America Stadium this fall, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. Drop a comment below and tell me how many wins you think these additions are worth this season. Mike Jackson and J.C. Horn are currently forming one of the most lockdown cornerback duos in the league, but there is a ticking time bomb attached to this secondary that nobody is talking about yet. Last season, this pair combined for 10 interceptions and 32 pass breakups, proving they can hang with anyone. J.C. Horn is the franchise cornerstone at 26, fresh off that record extension, but Mike Jackson is the wild card here. He is turning 30 soon and is entering the final year of his deal. Inside the building, there is a serious concern that age or salary demands will make this his final year in a Panthers uniform. That is exactly why the latest buzz has Carolina eyeing Indiana standout D'Angelo Pons in the second round. Pons is being called the pound-for-pound toughest player in this entire draft class. He is a playmaker who can lock up the slot or blitz off the edge with elite timing. While some fans might want a flashy pick at 19, getting a guy like this at 51 is the kind of move that wins championships. It plans for the inevitable exit of a veteran, while keeping the secondary elite for years to come. Mike Jackson has been phenomenal, ranking 4th among all NFL corners with a 79.1 PFF grade, but the reality of the cap and the looming Bryce Young extension means tough decisions are coming. If we don't draft a replacement like Pons now, we are looking at a massive hole in 2027. Taking a high-upside kid like the Indiana prospect ensures that this defense doesn't miss a beat when the roster turnover hits. But there are also a few spots on this roster that Dan Morgan is reportedly crossing off the list entirely for this April. Bryce Young, J.C. Horn, and Devin Lloyd are the pillars the Panthers are building around, and GM Dan Morgan has made it very clear which positions are strictly off-limits in the early rounds of the draft. First off, forget about a quarterback. The Panthers exercised Bryce Young's fifth-year option without hesitation, because the growth he showed with 23 touchdowns and over 3,000 yards is the real deal. With Andy Dalton gone and Kenny Pickett in as the backup, the QB room is locked. Same goes for the backfield. Even with Rico Dowdle leaving, we still have Chuba Hubbard and the reliable A.J. Dillon to carry the load, plus everyone is waiting to see the explosion from Jonathan Brooks once he's fully healthy. On the offensive line, the guard spots are concrete. Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis are Pro Bowl caliber anchors, so don't expect any movement there. And despite the Mike Jackson contract situation, cornerback isn't a first-round priority because of how dominant the duo was last year. Finally, the signing of Devin Lloyd to a 3-year deal means the middle of the defense is solidified. This is the kind of move casual fans don't understand. but it allows the front office to focus on the biggest remaining needs like tight end or the edge. The Panthers are in a rare position where they can actually go for the best player available rather than reaching for a desperate fix. Dan Morgan has built a roster that is flexible, aggressive, and ready to surprise the NFC. The foundation is set, and the draft is just about adding the final pieces to this puzzle. If you trust the process in Charlotte, you know this is the most exciting time to be a fan in a decade. Looking at the overall landscape of the Carolina Panthers right now, it is impossible not to feel the shift in momentum. For years, this franchise felt like it was spinning its wheels, but the tactical precision Dan Morgan is showing is something else. By prioritizing high-impact defenders like Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd, the Panthers have effectively raised their floor from a basement dweller to a legitimate playoff contender in a weak NFC South. The betting odds don't lie. When the Sharps move a line by nearly a full win based solely on personnel additions, it means the league's inner circle respects what is happening in Charlotte. The analysis of the secondary is equally fascinating. While Mike Jackson and J.C. Horn are elite right now, the foresight to look at D'Angelo Pons shows a front office that isn't just playing for 2026, but for 2030. They are avoiding the trap of overpaying aging veterans and instead focusing on a sustainable pipeline of talent. This is the keep pounding mentality evolved for the modern NFL. We are seeing a roster that finally has an identity. We have the protection for Bryce Young with the guards, the weapons in the backfield, and a defense that can finally get off the field on third down. The fact that positions like QB and ILB are no longer draft emergencies is a testament to the free agency success we've enjoyed. This draft will be the finishing touch on a masterclass of roster construction that could define the Dave Canales era from day one. Carolina is no longer an afterthought. They are a team on the rise with a clear, aggressive plan. At the end of the day, what we are witnessing is the rebirth of a franchise that finally has its priorities straight. From the record-breaking extension for J.C. Horn to the strategic acquisitions of Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd, the Carolina Panthers are sending a message to the rest of the NFC South. The rebuild is over, and the hunt has begun. This is not just another draft cycle. This is the moment where Dan Morgan cements his legacy by adding elite depth like D'Angelo Pons to a roster that is already ready to explode. If you are a true Panthers fan, and you believe that Bryce Young is the man to lead us to the promised land, you need to be here every single day as we track this journey. This is the kind of move casual fans don't understand, but it wins championships. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Are the Panthers the most improved team in the league? We'll see you in the next one. Keep pounding.